Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm your host, Rolene Marks, and let's take a dive into today's top story. Well, tonight, the annual Super Bowl that all Israelis look forward to begins. No, it's not anything NFL related. It's the UN General Assembly. And really, if you do live in Israel, it's treated somewhat like a major sports event because everybody is normally gathered around their TVs to watch various leaders make their annual speeches. Well, tonight kicks off with the Brazilian President Bolsonaro and followed by US President Donald Trump. And while Bibi Netanyahu, who is the current Prime Minister of Israel, will not be speaking at the UNGA, I know that it is an event that people, no matter where they sit on the political spectrum, look very, very forward to. Prime Minister Netanyahu, who's known for his great speaking ability, he will be replaced by our current Foreign Minister, Israel Katz, and there's no doubt that we will bring you a recap of that speech. But speaking tonight is the US President, and it is expected that his speech will focus on Iran and trying to get countries around the world to band together against this rising threat. And we will definitely bring you highlights from the President's speech in tomorrow's edition of The Brief. Now, I know we're all a bit election fatigued. I can't say I blame you. One of the comments that we often receive here is that Israel's election process does seem rather complicated. However, it is very, very democratic, and while very, very convoluted, it does bear results. So where are we sitting at the moment? Yesterday we mentioned that the likely solution would be a unity government, and last night President Reuven Rivlin brought together the leaders of the two parties with majorities, the Likud led by Prime Minister Netanyahu, and Kahol Velavan, or the blue and white, led by Benny Gantz. And it's pretty much a consensus that we will move ahead with a unity government, and the President has re-invited the two leaders again for dinner tonight to talk how we proceed with this. The reality is that nobody wants a third election, and although Kahol Velavan got 2 seats ahead in the Knesset, then the Likud, yesterday after consultations it emerged that Prime Minister Netanyahu got one more vote in favor of him taking the helm or being asked to form a government than Benny Gantz did. However, the big issue now is it probably will be a unity government, but who will take the lead? Will we have a revolving prime minister situation? So in the last hour or so, negotiating teams from both parties have met. Apparently it was rather robust discussion, as one would imagine in Israel, and while we don't know the details of those meetings, we know that we are now in a process where negotiations are taking place. And the man that they call the kingmaker, Avigdor Lieberman, again reiterating on social media and in the general press why he has opted out of endorsing either candidate, because this is also had a bearing on who forms the government. And of course, body language experts, everybody will be watching the three gentlemen, Gantz, Netanyahu and President Rivlin, very, very closely to see if there are any telltale signs where the president is heading. But we will know more a little later. And I think we're all pretty intrigued, even though we are fatigued, about how we proceed. And our last story of today takes us to the UK. And we've been speaking for a while now, and it's made major headlines across the news and is of grave concerns to Jews around the world. Just where is the UK Labour Party under the leadership of Jeremy Corbyn going? The Labour Party has been besieged by allegations of anti-Semitism over the last year or so, very, very serious allegations, which has seen many top members of parliament leave the party because they find the abuse just untenable and that it's no longer in line with the principles that the party was founded on. Well, over the weekend, the Labour Party held their convention, and what is very worrying is they adopted a whole lot of anti-Israel resolutions, namely trade deals, an end to British support of arms to Israel, and this comes just days after, for the first time, the Israeli Air Force joined the RAF, the Royal Air Force, and several other air forces in a training program, and also they recognized Palestinian right of return. So this is extremely worrying for Jews in the UK, but also for many around the world who are gravely concerned at where the Labour Party is heading. Those are your top stories for today. Don't forget you can check out our content online at www.layoftheland.online. That's www.layoftheland.online. And what could be more iconic in Israel than a good old Israeli breakfast? And Israeli breakfasts have quite a significant history. But if you want to find out more, you can read Dave Kaplan's article called Easy to Digest. I promise you it is easy to digest, and you can read it along with your breakfast. Also check it out on Facebook, and while you're there, give us a click on like or follow us, or if you have, please share our content. And don't forget that you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Israel Brief, by looking for The Israel Brief and simply clicking on the subscribe button. So I'm Rolene Marks with your Tuesday edition of The Israel Brief. Just a reminder, there won't be briefs on Monday and Tuesday of next week because of Rosh Hashanah. And we wish you a great evening until we speak again tomorrow.